Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kellen here, trying to position myself. Okay, Kellen here, man. Let's talk about, and it's not new, the IG money scam, which it could be any social media, really, where somebody says, and some of them are even sophisticated, where they have websites and they say, hey, give us $300. In 6 days, we'll give you 2,000 back, 3,000 back. Now, if you've lived more than probably 15 years on this earth, you're like, that's too good to be true. But they're still getting people. And what's really cold-blooded, in every scam that you do, you might give somebody something so they can even give more back. And sometimes people confuse this with Sauls or Jangis. Haitians call it a Saul. Cameroonians and other West Africans, they have their different name. John Gee is a name where you go into a savings account with, 12, 20, sometimes 200 other people, whatever that is, and you each have a hand. And that's not what this is. This money flipping is something else, but you have folks in all cultures really just, really flipping the lingo and getting people for real, and now I'm on a website called Social Africa right now. Some of y'all might be on there, KELLEN KASH if you are to follow, but you have all these people, especially a lot of beautiful women, they use the profiles at least as beautiful women, and they try to find what your interests are. So everybody here is African, they got one picture up. Sometimes you don't know who's in the picture, but they say, hey, they try to come at you with that pro-black stuff and say, hey, we're all here trying to win and we can flip this money. Now, what they don't know is they don't know who they're talking to because I almost want to tell them who the originator is, but the game is to be sold and not told of what they're doing. And then now they're trying to even add the Forex piece to it. And so they say, oh yeah, and this is Forex and you can, really flip your money. And of course it's all, and we'll teach you. And I don't want to be taught Forex. I understand the basics of Forex. I've done a little bit of Forex, but I like Forex brokers and people who handle my quid for me, my dinero por mí. So I'm like, yeah, it's not really my thing. And if it's not my thing, it's not my thing. What are you gonna say? But these type of salespeople got game, so they think. And oh well, what is $300? I see that maybe they see something on your profile, who you work with or who your friends are, whatever the case may be. You always got to suck at counting somebody else's money. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not really my thing. And even if I was to get 300, and I'm telling you this for yourself, if you were to get $300 right now and somebody gave you 2,000 or 3,000, there's laws that say you got to do your due diligence when you're doing any investment. That's why when you're a sophisticated investor, and a qualified investor, somebody who, Google these names, who makes a certain amount of money continually. Some may even say high value, but that's not a term yet that we use in investing. But you still have to do your due diligence. That's why to get into certain deals early, you have to make a certain amount of money because the government doesn't want you to be duped like these people are duping people. And I mean, these folks are the same folks who used to write hot checks. And remember Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can? And he was, doing checks before many of you were alive. And he got caught. He was one of the best to do it. It wasn't just checks, it was the full-blown finesse. Like, a lot of people talk finesse. And you even have now rappers and they're talking about finesse and they're dry snitching, waiting for somebody to come and pick them up for an old case, because one case can lead to another, people. So maybe the statute of limitations is on this, but if you were somewhere where something else happened, now you're brought in, right? But they're bringing all these old tactics, and you can see right through them if you've lived over probably the age of 20 and kept your ear to the street. But if you were to get this money and they were to find out later on, they're going to ask you to pay that money back. At least they're going to set up a case for you to have to pay some of that money back, or you got to do some time because you didn't do your due diligence. And so that's why you need to have a CPA when you're dealing with a certain amount of money. I say everybody who's making over 6 figures, you need a CPA. You need a lawyer, because every time you go out, somebody may be saying you have more than them, even if you don't flash it. You know, I'm not a flashy guy. Not a flashy guy. You're not going to see me popping out of all type of cars and taking all type of photos on a plane, sitting on the stair of the plane like anybody has ever in their life who's flown private has ever done that. You know, just corny stuff, right? To make people feel like, hey, you're special. Just live your life. People, they'll see it. But the fact that these folks are actually duping a lot of people. Sometimes they'll give you your money back. Sometimes you don't get anything and they're just gone, especially in the Forex realm. So I'm telling you to keep your eyes and ears open. If it's too good to be true, whether it's business, money, or, you know, who you're dating, and you're like, man, something doesn't seem right. Wait, why is she so quiet? She never talks. She never disagrees with me. It's been a month. It's been 2 months. I haven't met a woman that's not disagreeable. You know, I'm sure men are like that too. But, you know, men understand men, and we kind of know where to draw the line. But, hey, things are too good to be true. Walk away from them. Even with, you know, you find Prince Charming or Princess, you know, Diana or whoever, you might want to, like, do some digging. You know, you can find a lot from a license plate. You can find a lot from a background check. You need help with that? We got a paid consulting time where we can talk about that. Even you go through some private investigation things. You know, I done had a lot of gigs. I know a lot of people and had a lot of licenses that I don't even tell people like, oh yeah, we can do that. So, you know, you have to have a reason sometimes to do a background check, and you have to have it from a qualified person. Don't just start doing background checks on people. If they find out, there may be some repercussions that you don't even know that you're going to have to pay back. So this money flipping, be aware of it. Don't get duped. Especially some of y'all got that stimulus check and you're like so happy just to be out and about. Man, do not get duped giving somebody some money, even if you're winning big, and then later on, you don't know, this cases may go federal. It's kind of like the PPP loan. Some of y'all, you know, try to finesse on that, but I'm going to do that for another day because I just want to speak on this money flipping. Don't get duped by it. Have any personal questions, book some time. We can definitely talk about it. Links always in the description or on the pages, wherever you're listening or hearing this. I'm gonna give you guys some more of this game, whatnot, because a lot of folks, it's a lot of things from PPP to, you know, checks to a lot of stuff. Folks think they really doing something. You know, riding around in the cars, putting it on Instagram, telling on yourself, and the IRS is like, how you make this money? And you don't have a job or you work for minimum wage. You ain't tricking nobody, you know. So be blessed. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so we can stop this, because we don't want innocent civilians doing time. Because once you do the crime, you ain't innocent anymore. So you got to do the time. Once you do the crime, you got to do the time. You got to be in there with everybody else from check-in to, you know, when you pick your stuff back up. So cheers. We'll talk again real soon.